Hey everyone, welcome back and welcome to another reading. This will be the general read for June for those of you who have Taurus highly aspected. If you don't have strong Taurus and it's the title or the thumbnail that drew you to the read, I encourage you to stick around. There may be something here for you. I hope that you've been well. Let's talk about you and let's talk about June, shall we? Nah, right hand. It's about respect. All right, Six of Wands, let's talk about it. June may be about you wanting to be recognized for your contribution. But what else is new? I think that with you, it's always about whether or not your input, whether or not your contribution is valued, whether or not it's respected, whether or not your opinion is something that's considered, whether or not your advice is something that is followed. And it's not all about control. And that's not how I'm trying to make it seem. I just think that maybe those are some of the pain points. Now, we're just looking at one card, so the nature of what you want to be, what you want the attention on, is to be determined as we pull out more cards. Just going off of the Page of Pentacles here, and that the inherent manifestation or cultivating energy that supports that card. Speaking of pain points, I know it's a lot of cards, but you deserve it. And we'll talk about all that's here. Okay. Taurus. So, after pulling out these cards, I can confidently say that yes, this does have something to do with what the attention is on, what the focus is on. And I think that something in that is a source of it's a wound. One that maybe you knew was never really healed, but maybe if you never spoke about it, if you never voiced your opinion, in some ways you weren't breathing life into it, and it would make it easier to cope, make it easier to deal with. You know, the old adage, ignorance is bliss. So, I don't mean to alarm you when I say that you come face to face with something that isn't particularly comfortable, and it is your fear realized. And now what you do with that realization is so important, right? Is it a pain point in the way that it triggers you and it flusters you and it sends you into a panic? Or is it the kind of fear that you can somehow conquer in the way that you can see beyond it, and there is something to be gleaned from your circumstances, something that can bolster you? And make you feel capable. That's to be determined, and it is about your perception of the situation. I don't know enough about it, so that's how the energy is playing out. There is a very difficult situation that I do feel is coming to an end. So this is why I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing for you to come face to face with these uncomfortable subjects or uncomfortable topics, because it presents because coming with it, with that acknowledgement, is the opportunity to address it, to take care of it, to make something better there, to improve, to progress in some way, shape, or form. The righting of some kind of wrongs. The contentious energy and the cursing and the bickering and the arguing. Here it looks like behind someone's back comes to an end. That is then replaced by the correct and natural course of events, is the best way I can describe it. And I know that's a bit vague, but I just mean the opposite of all of that bad that was happening and the arguing and the contentious energy. I'm talking about that segue into integrity. A very firm hand being exerted in a situation here in June. And I think it's happening fast. And I don't think that you or anyone's gonna really be able to get a word in edgewise after somebody takes control of a situation here in June. They take their life into their hands. They take the situation into their hands. They There's a very old wound. And I don't mean to keep harping on that, but it's just like this read happens in waves. And I'm looking at the cards holistically, but I'm also going and working my way through. And I keep talking about this old wound because it keeps coming back. So who is perpetuating this? And what is not being understood? Why is there this cyclical nature to the energy? It's like someone is not being honest with themselves about what the root of the issue is, about who the root of the problem is. It's like there's situation after situation being presented and opportunity after opportunity to learn how to do something correctly or how to get something the right way or to do something the right way, but the ball continuously gets dropped. And as someone who I would say gives really rational advice, if you are the one that is dropping the ball routinely, exercise that same muscle for giving good advice and take some of it for yourself. Take some of your own advice. I think that you know in your heart, you know in your spirit, you know in your core what is not working. Someone who is so good at problem solving, I refuse to believe that they don't have a solid understanding of what is happening in their own lives. And I think that that is the challenge here in June. I know that's not the funnest message to hear, and if you don't like that, you know, just being honest. And I hope that you can understand, appreciate, and respect that, even if you feel differently, even if this doesn't resonate with you or for you. That's the thing about advice and insight, right? There is always that choice about whether or not you take it. And I'm simply making the case, the argument that the advice that you would give yourself when dealing with situations in your life and when trying to overcome your circumstances, you may or may not exercise good judgment and do what you know is right because it's in conflict with some kind of outcome that you have in mind. Some food for thought. I hope this helped, genuinely, truly. Best of luck with this energy. You are loved. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.